Hello again and welcome. Again, my name is Diallo. And for our activity at this moment, we're going to be doing reminiscing. So what I have is cards that start from the year 1900 and go all the way to the year 2000. And I'm going to pick a card and we're just going to talk about it and go through some of the things that happened that year. So we're going to pick our first card and we're going to go back in time to, let's see, we're going to go back to 1990. 1990. Ooh. So let's look at 1990 and see what was in the news in 1990. I love your hair. Henrietta, your hair is beautiful. So we're going to go back to 1990. In the news in 1990, a poll indicated that football continued to be America's favorite sport, followed by baseball. So even to this day, football is still the most watched sport in America, right? What's the most watched event in America every year? Yeah, it happens every single January. Between two of the football teams, they play in the Super Bowl, exactly. Mm-hmm. What else in the news in 1990? 2-liter Coke and Pepsi became available in recycled plastic bottles. That's when you know as a country we were getting too fat, right? Instead of like a little bottle of soda, they're oh, let's go with a 2-liter. Right? Drink that one by yourself. Get nice and fat for us so we can send you over to the pharmaceutical companies.
In Revelation, the Bible, God said man was going to do greater things than he did.
Can any of you name several types of different kinds of soda? Audrey, can you name any sodas?
Yeah.
7 Up. Yep. Pepsi.
Coca-Cola.
Can you name any, John?
Yeah.
What about root beer?
Yeah.
Root beer is a good one. You ever have root beer floats?
Yeah.
Those root beer floats are amazing. Woo!
They are.
They are good. Else in the news in 1990, the spotted owl was declared an endangered species. So the spotted owl is here in California. It's an owl, I guess, that's spotted. And it was being killed because of deforestation. Because of deforestation, which means that there's lots of loggers cutting down way too many trees to sustain wildlife. So they had part of the Endangered Species Act, certain species they felt that they were going to go extinct, and they made policy to say that it was illegal to kill those animals. Because it was illegal to kill those animals, you couldn't log where those animals lived. That's how you save a population. Mm-hmm. Can anybody name any other types of birds besides a spotted owl? Henrietta, what's another type of bird?
Eagle.
An eagle. What's another type of bird, Henrietta?
Another kind of bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owl.
An owl. Yep, an owl, eagles, pigeons. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Because I never have. It's almost like pigeons just come out full grown. These giant rats with tails. Or sorry, rats with wings. Rats with wings. So let's look at some things that came on the scene in 1990. First off was the Americans with Disability Acts. So what do you think the Americans with Disabilities Acts said or says? What do you think it says? That if you have a disability, you cannot be discriminated against. And most businesses, especially nowadays, they need to have handicap access. So like in our building here, we have a ramp so that anybody in a wheelchair, if they need to come in from the outside, they can get here.
Mm-hmm.
in most businesses are supposed to have handicap access. What else happened in 1990? The first McDonald's in Russia. Moscow, Russia, the first McDonald's in 1990. You know, they were happy
Yeah, bet.
after someone being behind the wall, right? Ooh. What else happened? The Hubble telescope was launched in 1990. So the Hubble telescope is a telescope that's traveling around our planet at 32,000 miles an hour. And it looks out, it's a microscope, not a microscope, a telescope that looks out into the heavens. So far, it's gotten pictures from the edge of the universe almost. I'm talking like millions of light years away. There's galaxies out there. How crazy is that? And an even cooler thing, when they first launched the Hubble telescope and they took the first pictures, guess what happened? The telescope was broken. So they had a brand new billion-dollar telescope and it was broken. How do you think the engineers and the people who built that felt?
Probably was real sad.
Oh, they were more than sad. They were mad at themselves. Like, how could we make a mistake? What they did, telescopes work off of concave and convex lenses. And mirrors as well. What they forgot to do was they didn't shape the mirror the right way. So it's like if you wear glasses and you take your glasses off, everything's blurry. That's the way the telescope was. Everything was blurry to it. So how do they fix that? Well, just like I said, people with glasses, you put glasses on so it makes it clear. It's exactly what they did with Hubble telescope. They made it millions of dollars worth of glasses. And they went up there on a space shuttle mission. They had an 18-hour spacewalk to fix that bad boy. They put glasses on the telescope, and now we can see ET.
In Revelation, the book of Bible, God said man was going to do greater things than he did.
You are absolutely correct. Another thing that came out in 1990, Seinfeld.
The scientist.
Seinfeld, the show with Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. You watched that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the World Wide Web came on the scene. So what we take for granted now, the internet, back in 1990, that was a novelty. People didn't even know what that is. They're like, what's an email? You'd be like, what's john@sbcglobal.net? What is that? The little @ sign that back in 1990, nobody knew what that meant.
When all these scientists started flying into the air
Mm-hmm.
and wondering how they were going to get there.
Exactly. So let's look at another date. Let's look at 1978. That was 12 years before I was born. 8 years. No, 12 years. 8 years before I was born. Let's look at what was in the news in 1978 here in America. The University of Chicago appointed the first woman university president. How about that? 1978. Does anybody know her name? The first woman president, University of Chicago? I do not know, but we are going to find out.
I know I don't.
We are going to find out. So, first woman president of University of Chicago. Let's see if we can find her name. Her name is Hannah Halborn Gray. She's an American historian of Renaissance and Reformation political thought and a professor of history emerita at the University of Chicago. She became the first president in 1998, or 1978, or I say the first woman president. In 1978, Proposition 13, aimed at lowering taxes, was approved by voters. That's a big proposition. That has to do with housing taxes and everything. And that actually got voted down. They tried to put it back to try to repeal that law in this election, and it got voted down because people didn't want to pay more in property taxes. What other kind of taxes can the government tax you on? That you don't like to give your money to the government. What can they tax you on?
Oh, I know federal.
Federals, they tax on schools, roads,
Housing.
everything. Another thing that happened in the news in 1978, 50% of all shoe sales were sneakers. Everybody had a pair of sneakers, huh? Some Chuck Taylors? Uh-huh.
Just here.
Yep. Now let's look at things that came on the scene in 1978.
What get me is how humans are made.
Yeah.
That's get me. I never experienced it.
Mhm.
I never had a job.
Yeah.
But get me how
I don't have
it's
one
done.
either. So in 1978, Huggies disposable diapers came on the scene. So before that, you just made homemade diapers,
You just use cloth diapers.
cloth diapers, and you just wash them. Yeah. In 1978, the TV show Battlestar Galactica came on the scene, which is one of my favorite TV shows ever. And in 1978, the Garfield cartoon came on the scene. Remember Garfield? What is Garfield's favorite food? Spaghetti. And in 1978, the big hit TV show Dallas came on. Who killed?
JR.
Who killed JR? Right?
His old lady killed him.
That was the big controversy.
Sure was.
Who killed JR?
But he's married to Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen was an alcoholic.
Oh, you were all in that show, huh?
Because he and her husband was getting along bad. He ran up to drink.
You were all in that show, huh?
And the dad had a lot of property, that big old ranch, South Fork. It was a big ranch. I don't know how big it was.
Well, what's your
100 acres.
What's your favorite soap opera?
My favorite soap opera.
Like One Life to Live,
Not really.
All My Children,
No, I guess all my children.
General Hospital.
General Hospital.
So now we're gonna jump
That
to our,
nighttime soap opera was really something.
yeah,
A lot of people watched it when they watched Dallas. Dallas was tough.
yeah. Now we're gonna switch to our last year, which is gonna be 1997. So let's take a look at things in the news in 1997. Madeleine Albright became the first woman Secretary of State. How about that? Another one, the world mourned the loss of Princess Diana.
Sure did.
You remember that?
Uh-huh.
Princess Diana died because she was being chased by paparazzis, then the driver lost control. And it turned out her driver was hammered drunk, and they were having an affair.
And he was drunk.
Well, he was hammered drunk,
Wow.
and they were having an affair.
Oh,
my goodness.
Yeah, because she married the king just because they didn't love each other.
yeah,
Her
they
looks.
did. That's what it was. She just married just to be married.
Yeah,
It's for the name. To bear her name.
she was a good person though.
But she was.
She did a lot of good things around the
She
world.
did do a lot of
I
good.
liked it.
And her children were well taken care of.
Mhm. Tiger 1997, Tiger Woods became the youngest golfer ever to win the Masters tournament. And the Masters tournament is actually going on as we speak. There's guys on the course hitting balls at the Masters.
And it goes in the
Get that
hole.
away. So when a golfer wins the Masters, what color jacket does he get to wear? It's called the green jacket.
Oh.
You win the Masters, you get presented with the green jacket. I mean, the last two guys who won the green jacket, they come out and flank you and put the jacket on your arms like you were just the king of the world.
A whole bunch of money. Huh?
And you win about $3-4 million.
Woo! See, you're gonna get there.
Coming on the scene in 1997, the McCoffey septuplets. You remember them? I don't remember them either. The McAfee septuplets. There were 7 of them,
I think they was the first black one. No.
maybe.
Now, they was all, born at one time.
Yeah.
Different
I think that
hours.
is the first one.
Another thing that came on the scene in 1997 was El Nino. I remember that. That was a big deal because it rained. I remember that winter. It
All that
rained.
rain.
It rained. It rained. There was another year it rained like that too. It was the winter of 2006, 2005, and 2006 going into 7. Wait, no. The winter of 2005 going into 2006. Because of my freshman year in college, I came back from Christmas break, and it literally rained for 3 weeks straight. And I going up I-80 to Sacramento, there are parts of it that were completely flooded. They had to shut down the freeway. Shut down 80 completely going to Sacramento because there was 4 feet of water on the freeway.
And that's our first flood, I do believe.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was losing their homes.
Well, being in Sacramento, people don't realize that Sacramento is actually a giant floodplain. So we had, in California, we have the aqueduct system. Well, you gotta remember the aqueduct system was built in the early 1900s by farmers who were dividing their land and trying to use water as most efficiently as possible. So all those little canals are just built out of dirt, right? And because we have earthquakes in California, there's a big earthquake, that dirt shifts, it falls, and the water shoots out, and the whole Sacramento basin can be flooded if that happened. I'm talking the hundreds of thousands of people would be out of their homes because it'd be flooded. Another great thing that happened in 1997, Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies. They're just bean-filled stuffed animals that were worth, at one point, a lot of money. If you had a complete set of anything, woo! People were literally spending life fortunes to get a certain set of Beanie Babies. And then a couple years later, they weren't worth the stuffing they were stuffed with. Right, the beans they weren't worth the beans they were stuffed with. They weren't worth a pot of beans. So thank you for joining me for this short reminiscing. Yeah, my name is Diallo. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.